Welcome to another episode of Wogzkitchen. On today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make white rice. You can use this rice for all your Afghan food, your biryanis, your fried rice, whatever. So I've got 4 cups of long grain basmati rice. I've washed it about 4 times and I've had it soaking for about 3 hours. In a deep pot, I'm going to put 4 liters of water. This is boiling water, obviously. And I'm going to add a few cardamoms. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of salt. And just making sure all that salt is dissolved in the water. Now I'm going to add my pre-soaked rice. I'm going to drain the water and then the rice I'm going to add to the boiling water. Now this next part is extremely important. We are now going to cook this for exactly 9 minutes. Not a minute more, not a minute less, not a second more, exactly 9 minutes. So when you cook it for 9 minutes, you are parboiling the rice. So at my 9-minute mark, I'm going to drain the rice and I'm going to leave the fire on high. Now I'm going to put the empty pot back on the fire and I'm going to add oil to the bottom of the pan. Now I'm only using 4 cups here, so I do this part when I'm only using a little bit of rice. So I'm going to now build a barrier with slightly thin sliced potatoes. This part is optional, you don't have to do it, but this way I get to save my rice and the bottom part crisps up. You don't serve the potatoes. You can if you want to. But I normally only use this if I'm only using about 4 cups of rice. If I'm using anywhere between 6 to 8 cups of rice, I don't do this potato part. I'm just going to put a little bit of salt on top of the potatoes. Now this is a teaspoon of turmeric and a teaspoon of water. This does absolutely nothing to the flavour. It just gives it a bit of colour. This is just if you want to be fancy, that's all. If you still notice, my heat is on high and we're going to keep it on high for a while. So I'm now going to add my parboiled rice back into the pot and add a little bit of oil, maybe a bit too much. And now I create a dome with my rice. So I try to get it as much as away from the sides as possible. And then I make about 5 holes so the steam can be let out, or this is what we call a dum. Now that's a pinch of garam masala, and I literally mean pinch. And I'm using 2 tablespoons of Chaar masala. That's a tea towel, and I'm going to put the lid on top. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat down to low, and that's it. I'm going to now cook this for 35 to 40 minutes. And so what I do is I get it from the sides, the rice, and I gently toss this. Now, you can't be too aggressive with this because you don't want your rice grains to break. Now as I'm getting to the bottom of the dish, you can now see that there's the yellow coloring coming out. So because this is at the bottom, just a little bit, I get to serve on top of the serving platter. And that's it, guys. That's how you make white rice. You need to use the turmeric to add the color. It's just an optional thing. I hope you guys enjoy, and until next time.